stay out here, and then I'll go through some flathead tactics. I'll go through the gear and what we use for bait. For gear, this is what I use. This is a Surge Trophy Cat series. It's a 7'10" medium heavy model. It's got a real good backbone and a soft tip. It's worked out real well for me. The reel I'm using is an Abu Garcia 7000 C3i. I really like that reel. It's a workhorse. It's been around a lot of years. For my line, I was using 65-pound Power Pro high vis for a while, and recently have changed over to 80-pound Suffix in high vis, giving that a shot. So far I've had good results with it. I really like it, so I'd recommend either one of those, Power Pro or Suffix. For our terminal tackle, basically the same thing as that Channel Cat setup. We have a short leader, probably 10 inches. We have a 5-ounce bank sinker. I prefer using bank sinkers over no rolls. It's just one of those deals, I guess. You can use either one. I kind of like that the bank sinker only has one contact point as it goes through versus two. There's a chance that could wear the line. For hooks, using a 10-aught Gamakatsu octopus hook. I've seen pretty good results with Kahle hooks as well this year, and I'm probably going to start experimenting with those. The lighter wire Kahle hooks, they really seem to penetrate. They hook well, and once they're in, they stay in. So you also want to try Kahle hooks as well. And then what we do with these is we like to use live bullheads a lot. Here in Minnesota, we're only allowed to use bullheads up to 7 inches. Most states, you probably get away with using something bigger, or even some sunfish or whatever, other types of baits. But here we're pretty much limited to suckers and creek chubs and bullheads and a few other rough fish. So I'm just going to grab a bullhead here. What we do is we just hook it in the tail, just behind the dorsal fin, above the adipose fin. And there you have your live rig. Now obviously I can't cast this out because we're only limited to one line here in Minnesota, so I'm going to put this back in the bucket. Now this would also be a good flathead spot around dusk. There might be some flatheads, up here in the snag, laying in the snag. In fact, there probably are some flatheads in there. What happens towards night, they'll come out of that snag and they'll come up, work along this bank, or they might even go along this shallow sandbar side looking for bait fish or food or whatever they're looking for. What we'd want to do is we'd want to probably work this inside bank here. There's a nice little eddy. We'd probably want to put a bait there, put a bait in front of the snag, and then put a bait on the shallow water. And it's basically the same as the Channel Cat. Cast it out. A little different thing we like to do is with the Channel Cat, I'm tight lining it. The Channel Cat's going to grab it and hook himself with that circle hook. With this standard J hook, we like to use a clicker. So we'd cast out, let it hit the bottom, and we'd engage our clicker and our free spool. Now when that fish hits it, what's going to happen is you're going to get more than likely you're going to get a thump. It's going to hit your rod, and you'll hear a little bit of clicker, and then it might go silent. A lot of times it'll rattle in your rod holder. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. Once that fish grabs it, it's going to start moving away. A lot of times that's the clicker run, the famous clicker run we all talk about. What happens is they'll move away and you'll get that clicker action. It seems like, I know in my experience, the slower the clicker going out, the bigger the fish. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but you can be sitting here and you start hearing this really fast, or even faster, and more times than not it's a Channel Cat or a smaller flat. But that's how that clicker works there. And when a fish grabs it, what I like to do is I pick up my rod out of the rod holder, feel the fish moving away, I reel up to it, make sure he's still there, and then I set the hook home. You really don't need to let it run. Some guys say, you know, let it run, let it run, let it run. I'm in the opinion that no, you pick it up, you feel for it, and you set the hook. I think when that fish grabs that bait, he inhales the whole thing, so the hook's in the mouth. Just a matter of getting that hook point to set. Another little option here is a spinning setup. Basically the same rod, Surge Trophy Cat Series, 7'10" medium heavy model. Same terminal tackle, just that the spinning reel's a little different. This particular one is a Cabela's Salt Striker. I believe that's the same as the Akuma reel, just badged with Cabela's name. Same sort of deal. This one has a clicker as well. Only difference here is this one not quite as loud, might not be able to hear it as well. The good part though is you can actually adjust this clicker, the tension, so you can adjust it higher, or if you're fishing in some slack water, you can see it's already taken out, so that adjustment works well. You can adjust it back down, it's real light, adjust it higher, get more tension. So that's how that works. You can see it's really woody here. I just got snagged up just dropping the hook down. Since that happened, actually, that's a good chance for you to show me what we do to get these snags out when we're using this heavy braided line. So when these lines get hung up in this this wood, the hook gets into that wood and it really doesn't want to come out. And this braided line is really hard to break. So what we do is we just take a wooden dowel. In this case, it's just the handle of a bait net. We're just going to wrap it around that handle and pull it free, hopefully. Sometimes you got to get up tight on it and it breaks free. Try not to fall out of the boat when you do that. Now that's a good example of why we go through so much gear here on the river. I mean, I just dropped it next to the side of the boat to demonstrate what we do, and I got it snagged up. So you want to stock up and make sure you have plenty of tackle. So that's just a real quick synopsis of what we do here for the channel cats and the flatheads. I mean, you can go on and on and on about different locations, different times of the year, but as far as gear, bait, a small location like this, like I said, just a quick synopsis. As a disclaimer, this is what I do. I'm not saying it's the right way, the wrong way. It's just what I do, and it's worked for me. So hopefully you can use some of these tactics to help yourself out.